Hi, sir.
Hello.
Sir, nowadays we can see that engineers are almost in every field.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, my friend has applied for a job. Despite being an engineer, he has applied for a courier company.
The one whom you were telling, electronics. Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is an
Okay.
electronic engineer, but he wants to work in a courier company. So, one of the question which was raised to him was despite being an engineer, why do you want to work in a courier company? So, how should everyone handle this question?
Yeah. Okay. So, see, it is like the situation many people face, and what on the HR side they look at it as a rejection criteria. They might even say the guy is overqualified.
Hmm.
Okay. And what he has studied in the education may not exactly match with what he is going to do. So the courier company, maybe he is on to looking at the logistics or something else. Whereas as an electronics guy,
Hmm.
he could be looking at a company that's more related to his field of study.
Hmm.
Now, what is the scenario, emerging scenario over the last few decades, and how it is going to be in future too? See, we have the educational system which is generalized, whereas the job market is specialized. So it is not that we are having an economy where there is a kind of a, you take an account of how many types of jobs are needed in how many industries, in how many sectors, vagera vagera, and then you say we need so many students to graduate out in a particular year, and then we go on to fixing it. So that was once done in the Soviet Union. Okay, it's more or less in an economy that is where the government runs the entire show. Okay, they decide. So someone, they find the student has a high IQ level, but the student is looking for sports. They might say no sports. You go in for AI. You look at into a different field. So where the government interferes, but we don't have that now. We have a opportunist economy, and it is a free economy, a democratic. So this imbalance between the kind of education that is being imparted vis-a-vis engineering and the various streams, and the non-engineering and the various streams, so on and so forth, along with the management or medical, the educational field, and the exact job requirement, which is based on a specialization. Okay, usually this does not match. But the question is, you have to, as a candidate, you need to know how to present yourself, because the presentation can even clear the doubts and even open new vistas, open new eyes. So for example, if they say you are overqualified for this job, you can say no, it is not the question that I'm overqualified, I'm most qualified. Because like you said, in a courier company, doesn't engineering apply over there? What is not in engineering? Engineering has so many walks, so many fields. So in fact, even an electronics engineer has a little bit of study on management, has a little bit of study on the other branches also. It is not purely electronics in all the 4 years. So they do read allied subjects, and they do have specializations, they do pick up. So like in the movie Three Idiots, Amir Khan says, Gyan sab aur se hai. So you go wherever you want, you learn. But whether this philosophy, this sort of a thing will be there with the interviewer, that's a question, that's a doubt. So here, when they say why are you applying for this? That means you should be going into a company that is manufacturing, it should be an OEM or manufacturing electronic goods or something onto the hardware side, or at least, something that is at the end user application development, something onto, even software development is okay, as a matter of fact. But this is something you're coming into logistics movement, and why would you do that? So here, the candidate has to read between the lines and see what is the issue. The issue is not on the candidate's competency, but you have a skill set or a skill set that looks to be too big, that looks to be differently big to fit in over here. So the issue is that, and here there's a hidden point also in the panel or the interviewer's mind. If I was in the panel, this would be in my mind. So this guy is now applying for this, but the moment he gets an opening in another company, which is an electronics manufacturer, or say any company, okay. So what is the guarantee this guy is going to continue if I take him? Next point is, what will be his motivation level or enthu on this? Because he might think, I studied engineering and now look what sort of a job I'm doing. தமிழில் சொல்ல மாதிரி படித்தது ஒன்று, இப்போ நான் என்ன வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறேன். It's like that. So that is the doubt this guy has to clear. So he has to say, look, I'm most qualified and engineering applies to many fields. I can bring, first thing is, I'm a fresher, I'm joining for the first time. So I really don't know. I might be an engineering graduate, but I have to work shoulder to shoulder with non-engineering people, which is okay with me. Okay, because engineering means down to earth. Practicality is also there. It's not that engineering means they, that sort of a high-handed attitude is not there. And there's a joke also, management versus engineering. Anyway, we'll not go to that part. But coming back, so what is the doubt whether I'll be happy? So you should say I'm most qualified, and even in the courier company, my basic skills, basic graduation skills, basic understanding, and I could do well in logistics also. And we had a paper in logistics also. So I have done that. And I can understand, I can easily understand the organizational structure. I can look at what is precision, because courier, what is needed? Precision, delivery, right packet to the right point at the right time. So that is also the essence of engineering. Precision happens to be the essence of engineering too. So he says, I'm most qualified, but I will not raise that as a thing when I work with other colleagues. First point. I will consider myself equal. One. Two, I will be as happy. Now he has to say, your friend has to say, I will be motivated and I'll be as happy if you give me this job. I will take it with full gusto.
Good.
And I will work with my utmost sincerity and with my full motivation. And I can assure you that in my career, I will put a strong grounding in your company. That means if I will quit this company with your blessings. I will not surprise you.
Good.
I will not apply. So even if I am going to apply somewhere, I will consider you. So these are the dark spots. These are the areas where it has to be filled up. Now coming back, if I complete, I really enjoy this LinkedIn or Tube where I get more chance to speak vis-a-vis the Instagram reel, which just gives me a minute to wrap up. So like I said, the educational system is not mapped for the job specializations in terms of job availability. That means the number of vacancies vis-a-vis how many people are graduating out.
Got it.
So we have thousands of engineers who are graduating out, but the job specific to that is not available. So what should they do? Should you keep sitting and waiting for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years till you get a relevant job? Well, some do that, but others can't afford that luxury. So you have to take up the job. And the other aspect is the attitude, not only in the panel, but even of the candidate. A student in US who's studying, he might be studying engineering or a high-end course. He can go and work in McDonald's. That was the point that also Kamala Harris raised, that she worked in McDonald's over hot French fries, which Donald Trump refused. Anyway, I will not deviate. Coming back. So, there's a dignity of labor, and I think in India too, the dignity of labor has come. I think in most organizations, it's okay. You may be having a different qualification, but it's okay for you to come and work at a different level. There are cases in the IT sector where we know, I have told, BSc Zoology working for an IT firm. It happens. So it is not. So what is to be covered? The candidate has to cover the dark spots.
Yeah.
Okay, of motivation, N2, and equality. Okay. So will this scenario change? Now a question might come. Will this scenario change? That means, can we have an educational system that can be optimized to give the specializations and train the students so that they match the job requirement? That is a pretty long shot. I don't see something happening like that even with the advent of AI. But I think this can be facilitated, and probably maybe in the next decade or 2 decades, something like this can emerge. Where the educational system shake hands, where the AI is able to help it to shake hands with the industry, or when industry really participates in giving that. But here there's another drawback. If you try to create a student or a candidate very specific to a particular job, then you lose the power of generalization. That is also what we are facing now. Like I said, a person who's a lung specialist has no idea about a ventilator, and a ventilator specialist has no idea about how the alveoli cells in the lung function. So specialization is needed, but you cannot totally do away with the generalization.